What is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today we're going to talk about treble boosters. I'm going to do some talking before I get into the sounds. If you don't like the sound of my voice, you can go here. This is where the playing begins. Also, I have chapter markers in the description. This is not a shootout. I have 4 treble boosters here. I have there are 4 from people I like. You can see them here. They are awesome. Treble boosters are probably one of my personal favorite circuits because they clean up like a fuzz face, but they don't have the downside of a fuzz face of not cutting through a mix, right? Before we get started, the backing track from the opening of this video, the way I support this channel, I do a lot of lap steel lessons too. I put up backing tracks 4 to 7 times a week. They're usually 16-ish bars long. They're a minute long. They are roughly the length of a solo. So hopefully it's a way to stay inspired, to keep playing new stuff that you can't just noodle over. You actually have to build something. It's $5 a month at the time of the filming of this video. I am currently in a transitional living space. I am in my parents' garage like any good musician. So please excuse, I have refrigerator noise and I got HVAC noise sometimes and all this stuff. So we're there. All right, final thing before we jump in. Not the final thing, I'm sure there's more, but the gear, right? Today I'm using a homemade lap steel. These are my Apocalypse machines. I make them only for myself. I'm sorry. There's plenty of great lap steels out there. This is using a Righteous Sounds diadem bridge pickup and a noiseless single coil, both from Righteous Sounds. It's going into my DCC Darko's Custom Creations Plexi, which you can't see because it's directly behind me, but it's an 18-watt Plexi-ish, and then going through 2 Notes Torpedo Capture X into Logic. There's a little bit of reverb from the Capture X and a little bit from Logic. So treble boosters are one of my favorite things on the planet. This is my sound without any treble booster engaged. It's not clean. If you hit a clean amp with a treble booster, you get this like ice picky horrible thing. Treble boosters are not supposed to be ice picky. They're supposed to be creamy and sweet. When you think of like Brian May, you think of a really sweet thing. So when you have an amp that's breaking up, then what starts happening is it starts scooping out some of the muddy frequencies and smashing the top end of the amp and making it sort of collapse on itself and compress. And that's where you get this lovely creamy that is not ice picky. That is beautiful. So I think it's a really key thing is it's got to be hitting an amp that's doing something, right? And then check it out. So it also cleans up great. So I'm on my neck pickup now. That's full up. Roll the volume back just a little bit. So I can go from just with my controls, which I mean, it just makes the instrument so interactive. It gives you so many options, or it gives me so many options anyway, just with my volume knob and my switch. And obviously I could involve the tone control if I hated myself. So I've got some treble boosters here today. They all are set currently to the brightest setting. Let me explain what this means. Let me give you a quick breakdown on how treble booster, the circuit itself, works. Okay, so check this out. This is your basic Dallas Rangemaster schematic, and the way this works is this. It's a really simple. You have this, like a lot of stuff that's not even. The signal path is this. I know words. The signal path is this. You come in here. You go through this first capacitor. This first capacitor selects how much bass is being let through. So the thinner, the smaller the capacitor, the thinner the sound, I think. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But like, so when you have something like this from the Beano boost, right, the mid, low, high, that's just 3 different capacitors, happens to be these 3 right here. With something like the R2R Treble Booster, Chris has done this amazing job with, look at these old school capacitors here, right? And so there's that. Let's see, is that in focus? It's not in focus. There we go. Now it's in focus. These capacitors here, which is just incredible, and the circuit's incredible. And then from Expresso Effects, these are tropical fish capacitors. I believe that's the term, and you can see how pretty they are. And if you get on his Instagram, you can see better how pretty they are. So anyway, that's that first thing here. Now, from there, the signal goes through the transistor, which is here, goes through your boost control, that's controlling how much you're boosting, and then it goes out one more capacitor. So it's really the signal is really simple. This last capacitor has an effect, but not nearly as great of an effect as the initial capacitor. So basically what we're looking at is this, and it's as simple as it gets. We're coming in to a capacitor, to the transistor, to a capacitor, and then out, and that's it. And the rest of the stuff is, making it possible and giving it power and all that stuff. But the main reality is it's these three components. What's really cool about that is it means that the components themselves become super important. So when you're looking at something like this, where everything is hand selected, and this transistor, you got to go through a bunch to find the one that has the right gain range. When you look at something like this, where everything is hand selected, this is from Analogman, this is from Chris, R2R Electric, and then this is from Soph at Expresso Effects. You can see the quality of the components. And if you know anything about history, these are historical components. They're fancy, they're amazing, and there's a reason that each specific thing has so much importance in these circuits. Oh, there's a battery in this one. And the other 2 guys don't do this, but this is from Chris, DJ Lava Lamp, R2R Electric, where each one of the components is listed here. And so this is an incredible way to put together a circuit where each one of these components matters. So let's hear what they sound like. Okay, so they're all in the brightest setting. This is the traditional Rangemaster setting. Started to get away from me there at the end. But so that's the thinnest setting. That sounds really cool. And again, not ice picky, right? It's really clear. It cuts through the mix. It's great. So why do we even need the switch? Well, it's a great sound, but it's not the sound. That's not usually the sound I go for. When I'm using one of these, where are we on? We're not going to start with that one. When I'm using one of these, let's go through the ranges on each one. So here's the Expresso Germanium boost. Okay, bunch of different ranges. They're great. My favorite is kind of in the middle. And I adjust them based on what I'm doing. Again, like, oh, there's a little bit too much low end. Well, I should shelve it out a little bit or not. But here's what I like. Right, versus the brightest. That's awesome. Okay, Beano Boost, Analogman. This is the classic. We got 3 positions, right? We got bright. Okay, now the R2R electric, actually Chris sent me what each position does, which is way more detail than I need. Ooh, Soph got back to me too. So let's see. So check this out. Position 1, Dallas Rangemaster. Position 2, Modern Rangemaster. Position 3, the Iommi modded, so Tony Iommi, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, modified Rangemaster. Position 4, Mid Boost. Position 5, extra mids. Position 6, full range boost like the LPB1. I don't even know what the LPB1 is. So yeah, that's it. So, but again, I don't, I'm not here like I really need the LPB1 sound. I'm just like, well, which one is gonna fit the track? So here's the R2R boost. This is on the brightest, and then we're gonna work our way back to the LPB1. It's a pretty amazing range. I personally like it kind of in position 3, 4. There we go. So this is my... And you'll see why we're going to put them all in my favorite positions in a second here. And then finally, the one that I built. This is a silicon-based Rangemaster. Marcus Reeves from Reeves Electro makes one. If you're unfamiliar with silicon versus germanium, silicon is it's basically more stable. It doesn't change across temperatures the way the germanium ones do. Which, if for all my gigs at this point, oh jeez, that is a more like safe option. But it doesn't sound as good to me, although it sounds different. Check it. Let's see. Okay, good. We're still recording. This thing's giving me a hard time. So check it out. Kind of like it up top. So And this switch just does two different transistors, so you can hear again in a circuit. I'm not hearing a lot of difference there. Let's try it here. Okay. Slightly different, but not major differences. Those are definitely, it's like a BC 108 and a 183 or something. I don't know what's in there, but it's two, might be a 25, 22, whatever. There's numbers. Nerds. Anyway, point is, these are the settings that we like. Okay. These are the settings we like. And these are my favorite settings. You can see how it has a lot of different options. At the same time, it's a fuzz pedal, it's a treble booster, it is what it is. All the other ones too, you'll notice I have some buzzing going on. When the volume's all the way back, when it's all the way off. The other ones are all dead silent. That's another thing they modified from the original schematic that I don't know how to do, which is they modified the power supply to have more filtering. So let's compare them again now. Again, I'm not going to do every single setting, but let's compare them again now with my favorite settings. That's the R2R. So this just shut down again. Temperature apparently, I don't know. Man, I need better cameras. I'm gonna upgrade some stuff eventually. If I can make some money doing this, it's expensive. Anyway, point is, these were all different. They sound great. They all sound great, and you may have noticed that, like, I think the Expresso is the smoothest. That's this one here. This is the Expresso. It's the smoothest one. Right, where the other three have a little more of a rasp to them. That was the Beano, and then the R2R, and then the my homemade one, respectively. But the point is, let's see if this can work again. The point is that they all have their own voice, and they all sit in their own place. And so, going which one's the best? Well, that's not really a thing, because they all just sound different. They do each react differently, and I respond differently to them. So let me wrap it up with this, which is, they all sound different. Again, it's not a shootout, it is a comparison. They all have their own voice. They all sit in their own different space. And so if I'm working on a track, then I'm reaching for a particular one. If maybe I need a smoother one, maybe I need more texture, maybe I need it to have more personality, maybe I need it to have less, maybe I need it to clean up better, maybe whatever the thing is. But at the end of the day, they're all really great options. And again, as you saw previously, hand built. They're super high quality, and they're built by people. They're built by one person. You know what I mean? They're built by people who when you call on the phone, you talk to that person. So I'm gonna give them a little playthrough here at the end. I hope you enjoyed this video, and look, if you liked it, subscribe and do the bell thing, all the stuff that people tell you to do. It's helpful. And if you really like it and you want to support me, then Patreon, and I have the link in the description below. Thanks for hanging.